This was the BMW Nazca C2, and it represented BMW's secret plan to take on the Italian supercar makers at their own game. The Nazca C2 wasn't just a show car with a fancy body and nothing underneath. It was a fully working supercar that could have gone into production. So why have most people never heard of it? And why did BMW create this amazing machine only to keep it locked away? This is the story of BMW's secret weapon against Ferrari, and why it never reached the roads. The story of the Nazca C2 begins with a famous Italian car designer named Giorgetto Giugiaro. He ran a design company called Italdesign. Giugiaro had designed many famous cars, like the original Volkswagen Golf, the DeLorean DMC-12, and several Ferraris. In the late 1980s, he started a project with BMW, which was to be impossible to hit the 19th electric. The first result of this partnership was the Nazca M12, shown in 1991. This was a concept car that looked like a race car for the road. BMW liked it but wanted something more refined that could actually be sold to customers. This led to the Nazca C2, which debuted at the Geneva Motor Show in 1992. The C2 kept the dramatic looks of the M12 but added features needed for a real production car. It had proper headlights, a more finished interior, and a powerful BMW engine. The design was stunning. The car was extremely low, just 41 inches tall. It had a long, smooth body made of carbon fiber, a light, strong material used in race cars. The most striking features were the glass canopy roof and the scissor doors that opened upward. Inside, the Nazca C2 was not the bare race car interior you might expect. It had comfortable leather seats, air conditioning, and a high-end stereo. This was meant to be a supercar you could use every day. A BMW approach to the supercar that was different from the raw, uncomfortable Italian exotics of the time. What made the Nazca C2 special wasn't just how it looked. Under the beautiful body was serious BMW engineering. The car used a modified version of the BMW 850i's V12 engine. In the Nazca, this 5-liter V12 was tuned to produce 350 horsepower. The engine was placed in the middle of the car, behind the seats but in front of the rear wheels. This mid-season layout is what most exotic supercars use because it gives the best handling and balance. For BMW, this was unusual. The company almost always put engines in the front of their cars. The Nazca C2 was built on a strong but light frame made of aluminum and carbon fiber. The body panels were also carbon fiber, which was very advanced technology for 1992. Most cars then used steel or aluminum bodies, but carbon fiber was lighter and stronger. The entire car weighed just 2,756 pounds, very light for a car with a big V12 engine. The performance numbers were impressive. The Nazca C2 could go from 0 to 60 mph in about 4 seconds and reach a top speed of 193 mph. These figures put it right in the same league as Ferraris and Lamborghinis of the time. Unlike many concept cars that are just empty shells that can't actually drive, the Nazca C2 was a fully functional car. It could be driven at high speeds and handled like a proper supercar. Journalists who got rare chances to drive it reported that it felt like a real production car, not an unstable prototype. When the Nazca C2 appeared at the Geneva Motor Show, the public and press were amazed. Here was BMW, known for their sensible luxury cars, showing a true exotic supercar that could compete with the best from Italy. Car magazines put it on their covers. People wrote letters to BMW asking when they could buy one. The reaction was mostly positive, but also confused. This wasn't the kind of car people expected from BMW. The brand was known for well-built luxury sedans and sports cars like the 3 Series and 5 Series. A mid-genre, scissor-doored supercar seemed more like something from Lamborghini than BMW. Some BMW fans were excited about the new direction. Others worried that BMW was moving away from what made their cars special, the perfect balance of sportiness and everyday usability. Would a flashy supercar dilute what the BMW brand stood for? For BMW dealers, the Nazca C2 created a problem. Customers were coming in asking about a car they couldn't sell. BMW had not announced any plans to actually produce the car, yet public interest was high. The company remained quiet about their true intentions for the Nazca. What most people didn't know at the time was that the Nazca C2 wasn't just a show car created to grab attention. Documents and interviews with former BMW executives have since revealed that there was a serious plan to put a version of the Nazca into limited production. BMW was looking at the success Ferrari and Lamborghini were having with their exclusive, high-priced supercars. These cars didn't sell in large numbers, but they created excitement about the brands and brought wealthy customers into showrooms. BMW wanted their own halo car, a high-performance flagship that would show what the company was capable of. The Nazca B2 was developed with this goal in mind. Engineers had worked out many of the details needed to actually build the car in small numbers, perhaps 100 to 200 cars per year. The projected price would have been around $200,000, 0 cents to $250,000, 0 cents, in 1992 dollars, putting it in direct competition with the Ferrari 512 TR and Lamborghini Diablo. Unlike those Italian exotics, the BMW would offer more comfort and reliability, a supercar with German engineering precision. The plan went far enough that BMW and Italdesign created a second version in 1993, the Nazca C2 Spider, an open-top version with even more dramatic styling. This suggested that BMW was seriously considering a whole family of Nazca models, just as Ferrari and Lamborghini offered both coupe and open versions of their supercars. Everything seemed set for BMW to make a dramatic entrance into the supercar market. And then, suddenly, the project disappeared from view. The promised production version never came. The Nazca remained a tantalizing what if, a BMW supercar that almost was. Why did this happen? The answer reveals much about BMW's approach to car making and the business realities of the early 1990s. The early 1990s brought a global recession. Luxury car sales dropped sharply. Even wealthy buyers became more careful with their money. This was bad timing for an expensive supercar project. BMW faced a difficult choice. They could spend millions developing the Nazca C2 for production during an economic downturn, or they could focus on their core models that sold in higher numbers. The business case for the Nazca became weaker each month as the recession continued. Inside BMW, financial experts calculated the costs. Building a supercar isn't just about designing it. You need special tools, dedicated assembly lines, and unique parts. For a car planned to sell maybe 200 units per year, these costs would be very high per car. Some estimates suggested each Nazca would need to sell for over $300,000, 0 cents, to make a profit. This price would put it above most Ferraris. BMW wasn't sure their brand could command such a high price, even for a supercar. Meanwhile, BMW's main business was doing well despite the recession. Their regular luxury cars were selling better than competitors. Company leaders asked, why risk this success on an expensive supercar project? Another big concern was whether a supercar fit BMW's brand image. BMW had spent decades building a clear identity. They were known for sports sedans that were fun to drive but also practical. Their slogan was the ultimate driving machine, not the most exotic supercar. Some BMW executives worried that the Nazca was too flashy, too Italian in its style. It didn't feel like a BMW. With its scissor doors and mid-engine layout, it seemed more like a Lamborghini with BMW badges. BMW has always been careful about their brand. They prefer evolution over revolution. The Nazca C2 represented a giant leap into a new market segment with a very different kind of car. Customer research showed mixed results. BMW's existing customers weren't asking for a supercar. They loved the 3 Series, 5 Series, and 7 Series sedans. Would these loyal customers see value in BMW making a Ferrari competitor? Or would they wonder why BMW wasn't focusing on improving their core models? In an interesting twist, BMW was working on another supercar project at the same time as the Nazca C2. They were partnering with McLaren to develop the engine for what would become the McLaren F1, now considered one of the greatest supercars ever made. The McLaren F1 used a BMW-designed 6.1-liter V12 engine. This partnership gave BMW a way to be part of a revolutionary supercar without the risks of building their own. BMW could supply the engine, something they were experts at, while McLaren handled the rest. Some BMW executives felt this was a better approach. BMW got the prestige of powering the world's fastest production car without the financial risk of building a complete supercar themselves. The BMW-powered McLaren F1 set a world speed record of 240 mph in 1998 and won the 24 Hours of Le Mans race in 1995. This successful partnership may have made the Nazca seem unnecessary. Why compete against yourself? The McLaren F1 already had BMW's engine technology at its heart. How close did the Nazca C2 come to production? Very close, according to people who worked at BMW then. The company had progressed beyond the concept stage and was in early production planning. BMW and Italdesign created 3 versions of the Nazca: the original M12 concept from 1991, the refined C2 Coupe from 1992, the C2 Spider convertible from 1993. Creating these different versions showed serious intent. Companies don't usually build multiple versions of a concept car unless they're considering production. BMW had even discussed which factory would build the car. The plan was for Italdesign to handle much of the specialized carbon fiber work, with final assembly at a BMW facility. They had started talking to suppliers about parts. But sometime in late 1993, the project was quietly shelved. No big announcement was made. The Nazca simply disappeared from BMW's future product discussions. The dream of a BMW supercar faded away. Today, the 3 Nazca prototypes still exist. The original M12 and C2 Coupe are in BMW's own collection. The C2 Spider belongs to a private collector. Occasionally, they appear at car shows or BMW events, reminding people of what might have been. The Nazca's influence can be seen in later BMW designs. The 8 Series Coupe that debuted in 1999 borrowed some styling elements. The carbon fiber technology developed for the Nazca was later used in the BMW i8 hybrid sports car. In recent years, some pictures and technical documents from the Nazca project have been released, showing just how serious BMW was about the car. Former BMW designers have mentioned in interviews that the Nazca remains one of their favorite projects, a true supercar with BMW's engineering excellence. For BMW collectors and fans, the Nazca has achieved mythical status. It represents the road not taken, the moment when BMW almost joined the supercar club but decided to stay true to their core identity instead. Could BMW build a supercar today? The landscape has changed. Audi, a direct BMW competitor, now sells the R8 supercar. Mercedes-AMG has the GT series. Even Lexus created the LFA supercar. The boundary between luxury brands and supercar makers has blurred. BMW has moved slightly in this direction, with cars like the i8 and the upcoming XM high-performance SUV. But they still haven't built a true mid-engine supercar like the Nazca C2. Perhaps BMW made the right choice. While Ferrari and Lamborghini focused on exotic supercars for the few, BMW created excellent driving machines for many more customers. They established themselves as the world's leading premium car brand, selling over 2 million vehicles each year. The Nazca C2 remains BMW's secret weapon, the Ferrari fighter that stayed in its holster. It stands as proof that BMW could have beaten the Italians at their own game, but chose a different path instead. It's the most exotic BMW never built, a tantalizing glimpse of an alternate reality where the blue and white roundel badge competes directly with the prancing horse of Ferrari.